Marco Rubio may not be running for president anymore, but he certainly still has a lot of influence on the race. The Florida senator is writing state officials. He's trying to make sure he can keep these delegates, 171 delegates that he's won total before he dropped out. Of course, this is a move that could help keep Donald Trump from clinching the nomination. To former presidential candidate and Cruz supporter Gary Bauer on whether he can do that or not. Gary, a lot of people are beginning to emerge as would-be power brokers or even kingmakers, and Marco Rubio appears to be one of them, at least.
First of all, Charles, great to be with you. Look, it's an incredible process this year, and when you start talking about all these possibilities, you end up getting into all the arcane rules of the convention and all the rest of it. Many states, particularly primary states, have rules in the party that say if you won 15% of the vote, you get 15% of the delegates, and you really can't release them. In other words, on that first ballot, the state is obligated to cast their votes in the way that the votes broke down in the process. So we'll have to wait and see how all that plays out. But, Charles, I think the most important thing has been touched on a couple of times already in the last hour, and that is simply this, that whatever the party does at the convention, they have to be cognizant of the fact that if it looks like they are disrespecting millions of voters who voted for the first place and second place candidate, that is Trump and Ted Cruz, and giving it to somebody completely different, that is a huge perception problem that just would scream unfairness at the very time that the public in both parties is upset at the establishment, upset at Washington, feels like they're cheated, that they don't have a fair voice. So I would hope that whatever changes are made in the rules, that they are changes that do not obviously tilt the outcome of the convention toward or against one candidate or another.
Now, the first round of voting, the delegates more or less are pledged to the candidates that won those particular delegates during the primaries. And then after that, it's anyone. They're calling them unbound. I mean, they're complete free agents. And a lot of them, though, Gary, are indebted to the establishment or are the establishment themselves. So they're between a rock and a hard place. They may be willing to go with the public rebuke and even the criticism that comes along with stealing this from Ted Cruz and or Donald Trump.
Well, you know, I think one of the things to keep in mind is that if that is obviously done, overlooking the first two candidates, and I want to repeat, I'm strongly for Ted Cruz. I think he's the guy that can beat Hillary Clinton. But if neither he nor Donald Trump get the nomination, it would be a little bit like fighting over control of the engine room on the Titanic. I mean, you'll sink the party. So I would hope that everybody, whether they're an insurgent, a populist, a traditional Reagan conservative like I am, would begin every day by saying two words that I think help clarify a lot of this. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton. If they handle this in a way that results in her election, everything that conservatives care about, that populists care about, will be down the drain probably for good. Second Amendment rights, religious liberty rights. So you can play political games, but at the end of the day, this is about the future of America and the direction we're going to move in as a country. And the one thing I know for certain is if we get 4 more or 8 more years of the policies that Barack Obama has given us, this country will be in deep trouble.
I think Republicans knew that coming in, and now this battle has turned, maybe it's already the Titanic, and if that's the case, the establishment is the band. They're going to play on until it completely sinks. Gary Bauer, thank you very much.